I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be self-sabotage, the art of failure. Well, I've got a good email from a guy who's struggling with some quality of life issues here. And as you probably heard me say on numerous occasions, being successful with women and in your relationships is a direct reflection of how successful you feel as a man in life. And so even if you're a woman, if you don't feel like you're happy and successful in your own life at being able to do the kinds of things you really want to do, things that are really emotionally compelling to you, you're going to have a hard time finding a way to be happy on your own. And because I deal with this issue a lot with a lot of people come to me, it's like when they think they're having problems with girls in their life or their relationships, but what's really going on at a deeper level is they're just not happy with life. And they think mistakenly, like I once used to think, that if you just get the one perfect person in your life, then everything will solve itself and work itself out. And you'll be happy for a period of time, but once the infatuation wears off, you're still faced with the fact that your life pretty much sucks. So I've got a quote that I'd like to share with you on this topic before we get into this guy's email. And the quote says, "The key to maintaining consistent success and happiness in life is to do something you love for a living. Something that is more emotionally compelling to you than anything else you can think of. If your dreams don't scare the shit out of you when you think about doing them at the highest level, you're still thinking and playing too small. Truly emotionally compelling dreams give you goosebumps, make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and bring tears to your eyes when you think about doing them at the highest level. Until you feel that way, keep searching. If you seek, you will find. You'll feel it and know it in your heart when you find it." So let's get into this guy's email. He says, "Hey Corey, first off, thanks for all the great work and advice you offer. I love it. I feel we have similar upbringing in regards to an abusive father figure, etc. From the age of 7, I can remember being told I'm a worthless piece of shit. It seemed to have stuck to a certain degree as I'm now 36 and carry feelings of not being good enough. I grew up in a poor consciousness environment. Even now, when I had a great job and income, I felt guilty for earning good money and I left. My real dad passed away and I feel I really missed the opportunity to be mentored in becoming a successful, balanced man." Well, obviously it doesn't sound like your father was the type of person that would have been able to provide that to you. It's something that you've obviously had to learn and seek on your own. He says, "I love your stuff on getting in touch with our masculine core. I am at a point now where I have had many great relationships, jobs, etc., but honestly have sabotaged them all, including my health. I seriously need to get the fuck off this merry-go-round. As usual, I just got out of another long-term relationship with a great girl. We had a 3-year-old little girl together, but she, like the others, just got over my shit. I've got 3 different kids with 3 different moms." Are you related to Bob Marley? He says, "I feel I'm stuck in limbo with no forward drive or momentum. How can I start moving forward in life and keep moving forward? I seem to get motivated short term, then lose it, even with work and relationships I genuinely love." Well, what that tells me, if you're excited for a short period of time and then you kind of lose enthusiasm, that tells me that what you're doing is not really completely, truly what your purpose in life is. Because when you're doing something you really love and it's really emotionally compelling to you, you're going to keep doing it no matter what. Because the thought of not doing it is emotionally, physically, and mentally painful to you. And I'll give you some examples. Like when I was in my 20s, anytime I was working a job for other people, maybe after a year, 2 years of working there, and I got to the point where like my internal enthusiasm was gone. In other words, when I no longer felt as excited about the job and the career opportunity as I once did, I knew it was time to move on to something else, to a bigger challenge or a different company or a different facet. And I jumped around between a couple different companies until I had 4 or 5 years of construction experience, which capped off by working for the largest construction group in the world at the time. This was back in the 90s, which was Syntex Construction Group, which was part of Syntex Homes, the home builder. And I worked for Syntex Rooney, which was a municipal general contractor working on a $150 million resort up at Walt Disney World. And when you're working on a resort of that size, and the thing that I love about Disney is they use the best materials, the best paints, the best finishes from all over the world. I mean, their interior designers and decorators literally fly all over the world and go, and they personally go to the quarries where the granite is or the marble is and pick out the actual blocks that they want to be cut into tile or wall tiles or columns or any of the finishes that are on there. It's just magnificent to be able to work on a piece, a building that's that size with just the best materials in the world. But after I'd worked on that job for a year, I was basically going to get shipped off to another job because most of the stuff that I was in charge of was finishing up. And I just didn't have the same internal enthusiasm that I once had. I always wanted to work on a really big job because up until that point, I'd only worked on jobs that were like $2 or $3 million. And I never would stay at a job when my internal enthusiasm was gone because my standards that I have for myself was that I didn't want to be one of those people that's working just hard enough to not get fired. And one of the things I love about Michael Jordan, and the reason he said was the reason for all of his success, was that he demanded more from himself than his coaches, his teammates, his friends, his family, and even his fans demanded. So his standards were way higher than anybody else around him had, and that was a standard that he held of excellence that he held for himself. And so if you're jumping around every few years, because like I've had careers where I've made lots of money, I've had businesses where I made lots of money, but it's like once the internal enthusiasm was gone, when I realized that my heart was moving in a new direction, I personally just could not continue to keep doing what I was doing just because it paid me a big fat paycheck. That was why I was able to liquidate and completely get out of the real estate and the mortgage industry literally months before the whole bottom fell out and things started to crash with the majority of my net worth intact. It's just because I wanted to follow where my heart was moving me at that particular time. Obviously was into the life coaching field because I'd always, without realizing it, I'd always been coaching and mentoring people my whole life. And so the way I looked at it is I've been preparing 15, 18 years at that point to become a full-time coach by applying things in my own life, my own career, my own businesses, and teaching my employees that I had working for me. That what happened was I just got to a point where I realized that my heart was going in another direction. And as painful and as difficult as it was, and as all the shit that I took from friends and family and people that knew me that said, "You're an idiot, what are you doing, what do you think, you're going in a complete, you don't know anything about that business," I didn't care. All I knew was the thought of doing what I'm doing now today was more exciting and more emotionally compelling than anything else that I could think of. And so if you're at a place in your life where that internal enthusiasm is gone, it just means that it's time to move on and do something else. Doesn't mean that necessarily you got to have a career change, but maybe you got to change companies, or you maybe need to make a lateral move in the company that you work for, or maybe you need to start a new division of your own company and do something else. Maybe if you have business partners. I've done that as well when I was involved with business partners, and I just got tired of what we were doing day in and day out. Because I got to feel excited. I got to feel like I'm doing something that really makes a difference in other people's lives, something that really feels valued. Because as human beings, we all have our 6 basic human needs, which are certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution. And the interesting thing is, by focusing on the 6th need, which is contribution, you literally will fulfill all of the other needs in your life. And so like for what I do, it's very rewarding. And most of the people that I help, I'll never meet and I'll never talk to, just because of the, between my books and my videos and my articles, there's way more people that will ever read those and get the help than I'll ever be able to talk to. And that was the whole point of doing it. For me, it's all about adding value and doing what I really love. And there's other topics and other things that are in the works that I'm going to be talking about and teaching and putting it out there. And that's why I put all of my best stuff that I know for free in YouTube videos or in articles on my website, or even ebooks. You can read all my book for free on my website if you can't afford the $10 for the Kindle version, because I want to help people. I want people to see that the stuff I know and the stuff that I teach really works for them. And you can see, if you've been following me for any period of time, that's why I'm excited to do these videos and why I do them consistently, is because I want to give the best advice. I don't want to make people jump through a bunch of hoops or spend tens of thousands of dollars on DVDs and expensive seminars and all this kind of stuff. Because I know not everybody in the world has the ability to pay me personally to coach them or to buy a book, or even has access to do those things on the internet. But as long as they can get access to my website or my YouTube channel, they can get the help they need. Because if they apply the things in their own life, not only am I helping them, but I'm helping every single person that they know in their own lives. And so, the guy that wrote me this email, it's like you just come into a place where you realize your internal enthusiasm is gone, and obviously money is not the motivating factor. I mean, Henry Ford said over 100 years ago, who was the founder of Ford Motor Company, and the assembly line, the manufacturing assembly line, what he said was, wealth is never attained when sought after directly. Wealth comes as a byproduct of providing a useful service or a product. And so, like in my case, I focus on adding value through my videos and through my articles by teaching the wisdom that I know, so you, the viewer, can sit there and examine it, apply it in your own life, see it. You can watch your friends, you can watch your family, you can go to the mall, you can sit on a park bench and just observe people. You can observe couples and watch how they interact. You can use the questions and things that I teach to go out and interact with other people and confirm all these things I've talked about before you've even spent a dime. The only thing you have to spend, obviously, is your time. And it's because that's what I want to do. I want to make the biggest impact on the world that I can possibly make. And the reason I do this is because when I think about doing anything other than what I'm doing, there's nothing more exciting and more emotionally compelling to me than the path that I'm on. Now, maybe 10, 20 years from now, I might be on to doing something else, but for right now, this is the path that I'm on, and I'm putting every bit of wisdom and knowledge out there to help you because I love it, because it's exciting to me. And when I think about doing the biggest dreams that I have that are 10, 20 years out, this shit gives me goosebumps. It makes me fucking cry when I think about it. It makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And so if you're, just like I said in the quote that I shared earlier, if you don't feel that way about what you're doing now, that's okay. But you got to follow your curiosity. You got to follow your intuition. You got to follow your heart and start looking. If you seek, you will find. And if you're at a place in your life whether you feel like you're kind of stagnant in your career, or maybe you got a business that you wanted to start, or maybe you want to lose a bunch of weight, or you just want to figure out what the hell your purpose is in life, go to my website, click the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session with yours truly. And I will talk to you soon.